Hey y'all, it's me again, and this is a tier list of every tower in Ring 1. I might turn this into a series, I don't know if I will. Also, these photos are a little outdated because they're stars, and tower stress is challenging. But we have our beautiful tiers here, and let's just start. So, starting off with the F tier, going from bottom to top. I'm gonna be putting Thanos Tower. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Thanos Tower, and that's just because it's a bad tower overall. It's known for being the first soul crushing in the game, and I've gone to floor 6, but that's all. And I've heard that the last 4 floors are slightly better, except for floor 10. But the first 6 floors were made by Juke, and the last 4 were made by Seal. So, and you can see the change when it happens. Like immediately when you get to floor 7, you can see that there's a difference in gameplay. And the last 4 floors, I went to a practice place. The gameplay is nothing special. It's alright. But the first 6 floors looks like it was put together in a couple of hours. I know that there's tower crossing, which is cool, but some parts, like floor 6 outside, it's pretty unbearable. And that's going to be the only tower in the F tier, because I can't think of anything else. Starting off with the D tier, you have Tower of Knowing with Simple Trials. Now I know a lot of people do like this tower because it's the first, well not necessarily the first tower, but chances are if you just like enter this game, there's arrows pointing towards it, so you know. It's a tutorial tower, so it's supposed to be the easiest tower in the game. What I really like is that there's a bunch of little intentional shortcuts. Some of them don't really skip that much, but some of them like skip, like one of them skips like an entire outside section, which is I think is really cool because the outside section is literally just walking. But why is it only in the D tier? Because it's a boring tower. It's just, most of the time it's just walking, reading signs, especially if you're a new player. Well, no, not a new player, an experienced player, and you go here and you were like, wow, this tower is really boring. I never really realized that. Next tower in the D tier is going to be Tower of Madness, if I can find it. So the first 3 floors have like this kind of like, I know this sounds weird, but it has like this kind of like desert-ish vibe with the music and the colors, and like the first floor with like the structuring, it has like, it looks like a cliff or something. But on floor 4, it's just a bunch of spam, and you can actually skip all of floor 4 with like an invisible ladder. And floor 5 is definitely the worst floor. It's just jumping from platform to platform. It's really, really annoying. And sometimes, a lot of the time actually, new players like hit their head and then they fall down, and then they had to like keep on struggling to get past that part. And the rest of the tower isn't cool either. It's just a bunch of spam. So yeah. However, I do like floor 3 with like the 2D section. That's pretty cool. But other than that, it's a pretty boring tower. Okay. The next tower in the D tier might be the last one, I don't know. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I put Tower of Rage here. Now, why is Tower of Rage here? Oh no, a lot of people will be like asking that. It's because, well, okay, it is creative, and it used to have that star. I think it used to have a creativity star actually, but then it was changed to a gold one. It's just overall, like, there's creative mechanics, but there's some parts, like on floor 3, I think you might know this, there's like head hitters that you had to like, that's really annoying. I know Alert already mentioned that, and he said it's one of the worst things in Ring 1 that got deleted. And I know, well, like, there are some other annoying parts, I guess floor 4, because that's like kind of known to be like really difficult. But nowhere is like, okay, what am I saying? But especially floor 10, because floor 10 is literally, it's just tightrope spam. And like, that floor is probably the longest because you need to figure out where to go. And if you fall, then you're gonna have to do some pretty awful gameplay to get back up there. So that's the D tier. I'm gonna start the C tier. And the first one is going to be Tower of Stress. Now, when I first started playing Tower of Stress and trying to beat it, I absolutely hated it. Because, you know, mainly because, you know, like, it's just bad gameplay. But this tower kind of grew on me. The ladder where you just, like, jump from floor 9 down to floor 1, that's actually pretty awesome. But then you have to climb up it again, which is kind of annoying. I know someone else already said this, but Tower of Never Giving Up Ever, I think in Ring 7, you have to wrap around and then you get ziplined back up, which is a lot better than like taking a truss to go all the way up. And I know like there weren't really zip lines back then, but you know, you might have been able to make it a little bit better. Next tower here is going to be Tower of Anger. And this tower, I personally I just think it has cool structures. It's really cool to look at. I mean, like, floor 3 has like that transparent box, which looks pretty nice. However, most of the gameplay is pretty abysmal. The sounds, the music that I use is pretty cool though. I like it. It kind of fits in. However, most of this tower, especially on floor 9, is just really boring. And there's also a lot of walking. And it's just really boring where you're trying to get from point A to point B. And they knew that there was conveyors, but they decided to just use normal platforms, which is stupid. Anyways, we're on to the next tier, B tier. Yeah, C tier wasn't really that big. But I'm going to put Tower of Heck. Now, this was the first tower to ever be made, and that alone adds a couple points. Like, if it wasn't, it probably would have been down here in the C tier. But this tower, it's fine. It has the slides, which are pretty cool. Also, like, this tower is just the definition of just a mid tower. It's really average. There's nothing really special about it, besides that it was the first tower to be made. Like, if I could think of the most generic tower, this is probably what I think of. Just this tower. It has a gold star for some reason, even though it's the first tower. I don't really understand. But there's some parts that are fine. I like floor 10. And the soundtrack is pretty good. I like it. So yeah. But some parts are pretty abysmal, and that's why I can't really place it any higher. Next one in the B tier. Actually, no, we're gonna put this one. Is Tower of True Skill. Now, this is a really well-known tower because it's often a lot of people's first remorseless tower, and I know a lot of people who are more experienced with the game and have like speedrun this tower a bunch. We'll probably put this like either an A or maybe even S tier. But I personally don't find this tower special. It's just a bunch of wraparounds, and while it is purist and purist can be used well, this is not really a great example of how to use purist gameplay. It's just kind of mid. But I don't want to put it down here because it is really iconic. and it can be fun at some points. And rounding off the B tier, we're going to be using Tower of Keyboard Eating. Now, this tower, I've always had a soft spot for this tower. When I first played it, I had a lot of fun, and I thought it was one of the best towers in Ring 1. Which, I mean, I guess, no, not really. But this tower kind of like, it used to be like here, but now it just like went down here. I'm just not the biggest fan of this tower anymore. Well, I still like it, but not as much as I did. I know a lot of people don't like it because, you know, it starts to get rushed, especially on the last couple floors with that pick a path thing, which is really stupid. I hate that section so much. But I think the creator was trying to make like floor 10 like be like scary or something and try to make like an iconic floor. But that is like one of the least really, this is like one of the least known towers in Ring 1. It's nothing really special. It's just blank slate. Okay, now we're in the A tier, and we're gonna start off with Killjoys. Okay. Now, I used to think that this tower was very strange, and because it was mainly just, it wasn't really anything special. Well, no, it was special. So, when I first got to floor 2, after getting past that like X-pusher section, which a lot of players are very confused on, I saw the big turret spinner, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Looking at it now, it's nothing really too wild. I know it's still pretty creative. Well, really creative for Ring 1. But I know that the first half, a lot of new players, especially new players, don't like it because it's a lot harder than the second half. If you manage to get to the second half, it's pretty much free. I do think that the tower drops in quality when you get to floor 5, because it's basically just a TOI clone, and also the frame is a TOI clone, so you know. The second half isn't too abysmal, but it's kind of boring. But it's just still pretty cool. I like the mechanics used. It's something that I would every so often just come back and start playing. And that's a good tower. However, an even better tower is Tower of Screen Punching. This is it always surprises me when I realize this is the second tower to ever be added to the game. Because this tower, overall, is just really fun. It has, like, it's not necessarily creative, but the colors, I know a lot of people don't like the colors because they don't really mix in that well, but I think that they're really good. I love the soundtrack for each and every floor, well, besides floor 6, and this is another tower where I'll just come in and just rebeat it. And also, I know that there's those thin stud wraps. Yes, that is annoying. You can skip all of it, and if you want to know how, I might make a video on that. I don't know. But I still kind of surprised me when this is the second tower to ever be made. It is definitely a big step up from Tower of Heck. I think Oberyn learned some things from this tower. Okay, now we're in the S tier. These are the 2 best towers in Ring 1. And I'm going to start off with the latter of those 2, which is Tower of Impossible Expectations. This tower, it used to have a creativity star. It also used to have a gameplay star, but then it was replaced with a gold one. It just has, I can't believe that this is the 3rd tower in the game. Like, it was made by Oberyn and also Awesome Cool Pop. And what they managed to do, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's better than a lot of the more modern towers that you see in, like, later zones. Like in Zone 3s, maybe even Zone 4. Because this tower is just that good. Like, I like the seats, I just like everything about this. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, floor it outside, dude, you're so annoying. And yes, I used to hate this tower just because of that floor 8 outside. And I fell a couple times there. But when you get past that, and you get past 4-9, then you basically beat it. You just need to know where, like, okay, I don't like the insta kill with the truss. That's kind of mean. But if you realize where it is, then you can beat it. And even if you do get insta killed, you get a badge. So that's kind of nice. But considering that this tower is better than most towers in later zones, it really says a lot. Just this one tower. And now, I think pretty much everyone was expecting this to be the best of the best. I'm actually going to put it in front of Impossible Expectations, because I don't want it to be really enough. Citadel laptop splitting. Now, why is Citadel laptop splitting like the best? So when I first played it, I couldn't get past like the spinners, so I really hated it because it was bad. And I was like, oh, that's dumb. And I know a lot of new players think that this is the hardest thing in the game. It's not. In fact, this is. It's ironic because I don't know. But this tower really grew on me. Well, Citadel. If you can't get to the basement or get past the basement, you're not really gonna like it that much. But when you get past it into the backyard and into floor 7, floor 9, it's really fun. It's not necessarily like the most creative tower, but this is like that one tower where it's really intimidating. Like, this is a really good, intimidating citadel. And I wish we had more towers like that. Because it's in Ring 1, it's a really big portal. You look outside and you see that and you're like, oh my gosh, that is scary. And it is pretty scary, I'm being serious. Yes, the tower is kind of scary. What I find funny is that it has a gold star and Juke made it, which is really ironic. But I just personally think that this citadel never gets old. I've beaten it 3 times. The first time I just beat it because, you know. And the second time I was trying to record a guide video and then I lost the footage. So then I had to rebeat it again, and every time I had so much fun. Even when I fell on the 15 outside and I had to redo it, I still had fun with it. So yeah, this is just a really good citadel that I personally really adore. And also it's iconic, you know. So that's my ranking of all of the towers in Ring 1 of JToH. If you have different opinions, then you can check out this tier list. I might leave a link in the description or something. When I first checked it out though, it did have different like tiers. It said like easy down here, like me, because this is supposed to be like the easiest to the hardest, but you can like rearrange these tiers and make it so that you're ranking them. And that's pretty much it. So hope you enjoyed, and if you hated it, dislike the video and never come back. But if you liked it, then maybe just like it or something. And yeah, I might do this with Ring 2, so that's gonna be fun. Anyways, see ya.